If I took my Xbox hours and combined them with my PC hours on Battlefield 4, that would definitely be the second game I've ever reached 1,000+ hours in. I tell you that to show how much I've always loved Battlefield. Been there since Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3 and 4, and 4 and Hardline. When I played this beta, I couldn't help but be disappointed. It took so many elements that made the sandbox of Battlefield enjoyable and threw it out the window in favor of modern trends. I know it's a beta, but betas or not, you gotta top up the positives and negatives. It's really the first impression of a game. And if you just compare this to Halo Infinite's beta, it's black and white difference. It's not a competition. Halo won it by a landslide. As always, positives first. The backpack system. It's a good idea on swapping out attachments when you need it. I use it plenty, but it could use some expansion on. The tornado. The tornado seems quite rare, but when it did, it was really fun to get every air vehicle into there and watch everyone get slingshotted around like a ragdoll in Gmod. Non-military vehicle handling. The trucks in this map, I nicknamed the Ford F-150s, handle well better than the actual military vehicles, not like the Battlefield 4 ATVs where you're bouncing all over the area. The gunplay, it's decent, not horrible, didn't really stand out to me. Now to the negatives. Optimization. Now, who saw that one coming? If you want 60 frames, you better have this game to the lowest setting possible. I got a 2080 Ti and I need to keep it on low. I asked friends with a 360 and a 370. They both agreed if they did stay low on the graphical settings, the game would dip into 10 frames a second. The revive system was nothing short of atrocious. Walking up to someone and having to nearly stand still for a solid 5+ seconds, hoping no one comes across you, and then if you do get the revive off, the person is blinded and then also has to get in an animation to finally get back up. At the same time, you have to hope his gun is nearby since the revive is overlapped with the pickup button. You will be unable to pick up or revive some people because the gun just happens to be right next to the body and you'll just hit that over and over instead of the revive button. It really made me appreciate Battlefield 4's simplicity in a revive with how you're able to do what you want, dodges, strafing bullets, whatever, while going in. Give a quick tap at 20 health or go for the full revive. Then the guy either gets up or declines the revive with no animation. Just get up and play again. The biggest sin is how they actually limited your customization from other Battlefield games. You can only select one gadget now because they need to make rooms for very cool operators that plenty of people asked for in Battlefield to fit in their special gadget. My example is if you're an engineer or trying to be an engineer class, you can no longer just have an AA or AT with a repair tool. It's either repair tool or AT. So tankers have fun trying to find someone who will be nice to repair your tank now. Operators, words cannot express how much I hate and how dry I get when I see a game that horseshoes in any type of operator. This game's no different. The armies look the same and will look the same. Released immersion and atmosphere in modern shooters have been killed by this type of marketing. Then the whole gadgets are not that strong, with the Sentry Recon being really to me the only useful ones. The grapple hook is too short to traverse the large maps. The medic gun, you don't know who's low or at medium health. There's no visual stimuli to tell, so you just gotta hope whoever you shoot with that has a lower health pool. Bugs. There were so many bugs. It feels like 20 new ones came up every time I played the beta again. Like a time I played an AA, it didn't spawn and completely eliminated my team on using any type of military vehicle because the game kept saying it was there, even though it wasn't. And the more common ones being how the people on the ladder would move at like 2 frames a second with like a old Game and Watch character. Can't customize weapons at spawn. In the main menu, you can't customize your weapons. Only in game through the backpack you can put sights and grips on. Battlefield was one of those rare games where shotguns did have range and were not glorified confetti shooters. This game completely ditched it and made shotguns in the beta have less range than shotguns in newer CODs. The snipers. There is no zeroing your scope, another feature that's been around since Battlefield 3, maybe even older Battlefields. And then on top of that, the 6x scope has no range notches, so it's always a heavy estimate on where your lead is. They've had range markers and scopes since the First World War. The theme to me in the beta was for every good addition, there's about 5 negative or forgotten about additions. One of my friends perfectly put in words saying, it's like an extremely early build of the game, and it generally feels like it and plays like it. It has done nothing that made me want to swap on Battlefield 4, which is my favorite, to this one. I'm going to be personally holding off unless it's included EA Play or Xbox Game Pass. I don't recommend pre-ordering or buying it on day one. I'm planning to wait for probably a few months or a half a year, depending on how much content it has. But that's it. See ya.